Hello and welcome to this channel. Today we are going to discuss about the user data functions. User data functions is a serverless feature that allows us to host and run our code on Fabric ecosystem. This supports the Python 3.11.9 runtime and allows you to use public libraries and even private libraries in the WHL format. So suppose you want to run pandas, numpy, or even request module for calling any REST endpoints, you can use them as the public libraries. We will see shortly. And user data functions can be invoked by Fabric data notebooks, Fabric data pipelines, and even from the external client applications with the help of REST endpoint. So, what makes them special? They are reusable, so you can create one function and that can be used across multiple notebooks and pipelines. They are customizable, so you can use the public libraries to develop some complex function or even private libraries. And encapsulation, which means you can develop some complex workflows using functions, maybe in the microservices architecture. And they support external connectivity again with the help of REST endpoint. Let's understand the limitations of user data functions. Understanding limitation is the key of developing good solution. UDFs are not currently supported in all regions. So before creating UDF, ensure that the particular region supports that. Test feature in develop mode, not available in all regions, like Brazil South, Israel Central, and Mexico Central. But that's not a big issue because you can develop them, debug them locally in the editor like VS Code. Functions are currently editable by the owner only. So suppose you want to transfer the ownership, you have to do it um, with the transfer ownership option. Additional reserve Python keywords. So while developing UDF, you have to understand that you can't use REQ context and REQ invocation ID as they are keywords, apart from usual reserved keywords in Python language. The quite important one, default values and optional parameters are not supported. So whenever you call any function, you can pass the parameters, but you can't assign any default values and you can't make it optional. Please remember that. Manage connections only support Fabric data sources. So we can connect with Lakehouse, Warehouse, or any other Fabric item, but that can't be external. But they are workaround. We will see in the future tutorials. Using Fabric data functions as a service principle to access other items and resources is not supported. This is again a key one. Service principle is nothing but a mechanism to access data in the Azure world. Let's see what are the service limits as they are applied on these functions. So the request payload length can't be more than 4 MB. Request execution timeout time is 8 minutes. So all functions which you create should execute within the 8 minutes timeline. Response size limit is 30 MB. That's the max size support. Log retention again is for 30 days. Private library max size, which I already mentioned before, the .whl format, it's 28.6 MB. And when we test in the portal, the maximum time of the session is 50 minutes. Let's see a quick demo. So this is the Fabric UI. and I have just created a new workspace functions. First, we will click on new item. Here you will see multiple options. The copy job, data flow Gen 1, mirror database, lakehouse, warehouse, Apache Airflow job. Everything which supports did by Fabric. So we will just type user data functions. Okay. We will give a name, just user data function 1. Click on create. Okay. So we get this UI. Now there are some important things which I want to mention before. You see this option as manage connections. So whenever we want to create any new connection, we have to use this option. As you can see, I can see all Fabric items, warehouse, lake houses, which I can use. There is a option called library management, where we can see the public libraries and the private libraries. So public libraries, if you click on add, you can see a long list of public libraries supported. Suppose I give pandas, you see, we are getting all the options. NumPy, requests, fast API. So all the major ones are listed here. Okay. There's another option called private libraries, where you can upload, install your custom libraries in the WHL format. We will see in the upcoming tutorials how to use this option. Then there is a option called endorsement, which is a option to ensure the quality content. It's nothing new. Even in the Power BI, we used to have this option. Then there is another option called library management. Again, it will open the same. So I'm not going to details. This is important. When you click on settings, again, the same options are listed. In the about, you will see who created, who owned it, and then who modified it last time. You can develop it locally using VS Code. We will see in the upcoming tutorials how to use that option. And you can generate the invocation code which you can use in your external application. So let's first create, then there's an edit option here where you can see again the same thing. Let's create a new function here. Okay, so we get a sample one, and we are currently in develop mode. You can see two mode here, run only or develop mode. So when you want to edit, you have to be in the develop mode. The options, if you go here and click on the dots, you can only see test option currently. But if you change the mode to run only, you will see other options like view historical log, properties, copy public URLs. You will see everything in details. There is a test session inactive, which show the status and when it last published. Okay, fine. So that's fine. To run only, develop, and we will publish this. Okay, publishing in progress. Just wait for some time so that function is published. Okay, fine. It's taking a bit more time today, but that's fine. In the meantime, I will show you other options. So when you there is an even a settings button here. So if you go there, you can see lots of options on the settings here. Yeah, and this is a refresh option. So you can refresh it. Publish succeeded. Okay, so publishing done. Let's just refresh and we will test now. So for testing in UI, you can just click on here and do the testing. Now we have defined it will take an parameter name. So we will give any name. Let's give test UDF and we click on test. So function is executing now. Okay, so we get our input string which we provided at runtime and it printed the message welcome to Fabric functions. Great. Now just try to understand in Bitterwater code. So we are importing a fabric.functions and then this line is creating the execution context. We are using a decorator and then we are calling the function. So suppose you want to use another function here. In that case, don't use a decorator, define the function here and then it can be called. But if you want more than one function, you can create another functions like this. So again, use the decorator. Okay. So we need to mention return type. Great. Now, as soon we click enter, you can see another function got created and I am just saving it. Sorry. So we have to publish it. Okay. So it's publishing. I just want to give you an idea that how to create multiple functions in an UI. Because here when you click, there is no other option, right? Create new function, anything like that. Okay. So that's fine. Now what we will do, it's being published. We will create another function. But before that, we want to add a library this time. So one library, fabric user data functions, will add it whenever you create one function and run it. This is by default. We will add another library. Let's request. Okay, we need to select a version. I am choosing the latest one. Fine. So we have included the requests library here. One main thing you have to remember, the publishing it won't allow the publishing within 2 minutes. So suppose I published now, I can't do in the next 2 minutes. That's why this button is disabled here. Okay. Now try to import the requests. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about warnings. Okay, let's first refresh this. Yeah, so we will say UDF dot function and then define call API. Yeah, call API and we will return a string again. Okay, so we will say response equal to request dot get, and we need to pass one endpoint now. So we will just use the faker API, which is nothing but mocking the data. So we will use, okay, so we will use this endpoint. Okay, and then we will return the response.json. Okay, we will save. Let's add some error handling here. So if response.status code not equal to, equal to 200, then return response.json, else return error status code response.status code. Great. Okay, so you can see now. Now what we will do, we will publish. Publishing in progress now. Now notice one thing, the language Python can't be edited here. So currently UDF supported only for Python language. Okay, publishing in progress. In the meantime, I will show you Faker API. So we have plenty of options here to mock the data. and it's completely free, so we can get lots of quantity ones, which nothing but send you some quantity data. Then we have resources of address, books, companies, credit card, images, places. It's quite good one. I mean, whenever you want to test it, this library, I mean this API, sorry, is of great help, especially when you want to mock some data. Okay, so now it's published. Yeah, we can see here, and test session is again active. Now let's run it. So we will click on test. Okay, and we will say test. So we got error with status code. Now why we got that? Because we didn't mention version here. Okay, we need to provide a version here. That's why we got this error. The version 2 is latest.
Okay, so the right way of giving the version is v1, v2, and actually that's the standard way. So it's I have published a new version, and we will now run it, test it. So let's go to, as you can see, the call was succeeded, and we are able to see the data here. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you find it useful. See you later.